Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. As you know, it's been a very rough new year for President Biden as he suffered two stinging defeats. First up, the Supreme Court ruled against his vaccine mandate for 80 million people working in private business. And second, just before Uncle Joe was going to speak to the Senate Democratic Conference, Kyrsten Sinema stood up on the Senate floor and announced her unequivocal opposition to any changes in the legislative filibuster. By the way, Joe Manchin followed on Sinema's heels by issuing his own statement opposing a filibuster change. He did it last night, also just before Biden was to speak to the Senate Democrats. So I bet you 4 or 5 other Senate Democrats would have followed Sinema and Manchin on this. It effectively and thankfully kills the Biden proposal to nationalize elections, another one of his many awful ideas. Now, Senator Schumer is telling folks that his voting deadline on the filibuster has slipped from today to next week because of COVID in D.C. and the threat of winter storms in Hawaii. No, maybe it's the other way around. Sorry, I get confused about this. But what's not confusing is that the filibuster deal is dead, nationalizing the elections is dead, and big government socialism is dead. I don't care when Schumer wants to vote on that last one, but Save America killed the bill. Incidentally, every time Uncle Joe goes to the Hill to persuade his own party, he loses. But let's not stop at the idea he's having just a bad week. Fact is, he's had a very bad year. His defeat COVID promise collapsed. His withdrawal from Afghanistan turned into a catastrophe defeat. He reversed President Trump's tough southern border policies, which then led to nearly 2 million illegals entering the U.S. His reversal of Trump's energy independence led to sky-high oil and gasoline prices. His $2 trillion so-called emergency COVID plan last winter unlocked the door to the highest inflation in 40 years. His attempts to reverse the Trump tax cuts have proven to be totally unpopular. His speeches on almost every subject have been mean-spirited, racially divisive, and factually untrue. He has lost the public's confidence. He is no longer regarded as honest, and his shift to a radical left woke philosophy has done him great damage. A recent liberal poll has his approval at only 33%, about the same as the outdoor temperature in Washington, D.C. He's going to give a State of the Union speech in early March, and if he sticks to this unpopular far-left so-called transformational strategy, his entire presidency, which is now hanging by a thread, will collapse. It may already have, but if he doesn't change, then his mantra is going to be, things always look darkest before they turn completely black. I'm sorry about that. His vice president has been a laughingstock. His cabinet members are usually nowhere to be found in key situations. America is not a happy place right now. Now, look, you know me, ever the optimist. Our conservative country will right the ship. Americans believe in free enterprise capitalism. They believe in rewarding success, promoting entrepreneurship, being number one in energy, having parents, not governments, run the schools, having families, not government, rear their children and take care of their grandparents. I believe America will reject the Biden regulatory state takeover sector after sector, like energy or banking or healthcare and more. What my pal Steve Forbes calls modern socialism through an overextended regulatory state, what Friedrich Hayek called the road to serfdom. We will beat that. The GOP will win big in the midterms. The handwriting is on the wall. The cavalry is on the way. The road looks dark for Biden, but I sincerely believe it's going to be a very bright road for America. That's my belief. That's my riff. Now, suddenly, a new immediate danger seems to be facing us. World oil prices have suddenly spiked to nearly $84 for West Texas crude and $86 for Brent European crude. And after a week of futile talks between the U.S. and Russia and various allies, nothing has happened to ease the Russian-Ukraine situation. It looks like a dead end. There is no de-escalation. Even Madam Psaki has turned from Baghdad Bob into a realistic and accurate analyst, warning of a popular Russian false flag operation in eastern Ukraine, which could be a pretext for invading the country. Others in the national security area are now suddenly talking about a Russian invasion, get this, between mid-January and mid-February. Today's January 14th. Kind of looks like we're in the hot zone. And then the stupidity of the White House in opposing Ted Cruz's amendment to restore Nord Stream 2 sanctions, a move that was just about as dumb as their gift to Putin earlier this year to end the sanctions. Well, just makes the administration look weaker than weak. I mean, Cruz was right. We should have helped them, but they didn't. So, as we meet this evening, world energy and financial markets are right now on edge.